So very good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon, sir.
So the second chapter, that is the water requirements of crop. Okay. First you understand the concept and then write down the important thing. So what is the water requirements of crop? Crops means? Yes. So that crop in India, the crop is, if you have to develop the crop, the basic thing is the irrigation or the water is required for developing the crops. So every crop requires a certain quantity of water. Each and every crop, it has a requirement, is a certain quantity of water. After a certain fixed interval throughout its period of growth. Okay, that means suppose if it's a crop and in the very beginning we first thing is we sow the crop into the soil. Okay, suppose these things we develop in day 1. Okay, and from day 1 up to the harvesting part, suppose this is day 15, let us assume. So this 15 days is the interval time of this crop. Okay, so for developing this full phased crop, it is required 15 days. Now suppose we interval is 5 days. So in a 5 days interval we will give the water. So these 3 interval is the total requirement of water. Suppose the first interval we have given, suppose it is 1 centimeter depth of water, and next it is given 3 centimeter depth of water, and the last interval as per the requirement it is given 5 centimeter interval of water. Okay, so this total is 5, 3, 8 and 1, 9. So 9 centimeter water is the total water requirement for this particular crop. Is it clear? So first you write down these things, that every crop require a certain quantity of water and after a certain fixed interval throughout this period of growth of the crop. Period of the growth of the crop. Basically, this water requirement concept has come from England. Okay. So in India, what happened? India is basically country where the rainfall is, intensity of rainfall is not same. It is different for the different places. Suppose in Kolkata, whatever the rainfall is, it is not same as in Kolkata. Okay. So in India, the intensity of rainfall is different. So the water requirement of the crop is also different. Clear? So you just write down these things. In India, the natural water is insufficient or not regular crops. So the intensity of rainfall, varies throughout the country. Okay? Then next thing is we divide the total irrigation area in India two parts. One is arid region and another one is semi-arid. Arid region means where the irrigation is most important. Means without irrigation it is not possible to develop the agriculture. Okay, that is known as the arid region. And semi-arid means where without irrigation the agriculture can develop. Okay, so first part is, suppose in Rajasthan is an example of arid region. This is very important. In SSC JEE or in West Bengal PSC also, maximum when they are asked this question. Purulia is a arid region. Mean in these particular places it is not possible agriculture without irrigation. So where irrigation is required, that region is known as arid. Okay. And in a normal area, suppose beside the Ganga, where irrigation is not required, that part is known as the semi-arid region. Is it clear? Any doubt? So, write down the term water requirement of crops. The term water requirements of crops means the total quantity of water and the way in which a crop requires water. Okay, so these things earlier I have already discussed. So total requirement water from the very beginning, that is sowing to what? Harvesting. This total requirement for this particular period, total requirement of water is the water requirement of that particular crop. Okay, and this is vary with the crop as well as with the places. Suppose it is not water requirement is not same for a rice and for a wheat, because these two crops are different and these two crops water requirement is also different. Clear? So that is also discussed only that different crops have different water requirements and the same crops have different water requirements at different places of the same country. If the crops are different, their water requirement is also different. Even also if the crops are same, सपोज पटना में जो क्रॉप्स हो रहा है, राइस हो रहा है, और बंगाल में जो राइस हो रहा है, सपोज दुर्गापुर में जो राइस हो रहा है, दोनों जगह अलग है, ओके, बट द क्रॉप इज सेम, ओके, सो द वाटर रिक्वायरमेंट इज आल्सो डिफरेंट एज द प्लेसेस आर डिफरेंट. क्लियर? So basically is the water requirement. You see here the depth of water. Suppose this depth of water is suppose 1 centimeter or 2 centimeter. That is for the earlier stage of the rice, where the depth of water we can measure from there also. Okay, and day by day it is growing, and the requirement of water is also more. Now see the variation in the requirement of water for paddy with the stage of growth. Okay, that means the initial stage or initial stage when we have put the initial stage that is showing the crop, and then it is developing or growing. Okay, in a stepwise. So first thing is it is suppose 100 mm water is required. Then the middle step is 20 to 50 mm. That means if the interval, that is, if it is the first time, so it is the second interval, 20 to 50 mm water is required. And in the third interval, again it is required of water is 100 mm. So it is much more from the previous one. And last stage, that is a late season stage, then there is no requirement of water. Okay. So now write down the time period that indicates from the instant of its sowing to the instant of its harvesting is called the crop period. Sowing to harvesting, this part is also known as the crop period, the total time. Second point, the time between the first watering of a crop, to the last watering of a crop, before the harvesting, that is called its crop period or the base period. Base period or the base of the crop. This harvesting time is called the base period or base of the crop. Both the time periods are indicating in number of days. Okay, so if B is the crop period or base period, whatever, that indicates in days only, and crop period in general is slightly more than the base period. Okay, here. So here is a diagram. Basically, this is the first watering. What I have tell? The first watering and the last watering. So the initial stage of the is the initial stage of the crop. You are sowing it. In the rice, it is sowing it. So first week, after first week, you sowing. Then first week, that is the interval of time. Okay, interval of time 1, 2, 3, and 4. So this is the last watering. So initially you have put water here, 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 and here. Okay. So the first watering and last watering is known as the base period. Okay. And the first sowing to the harvesting time. Sowing to the harvesting time, that is known as the crop period. Okay. Base and crop. Remember these two things. Sowing to harvesting, that time period is known as the crop period, but in case of base period, that is the requirement of water. Initial to the last watering before harvesting, that time is known as the base period. Clear? This all of the comes into the short question. Now next is the delta. What is delta? Write down that the total depth of water required to raise a crop over a unit area of land is usually called as delta. The total depth of water required to raise a crop or develop a crop over a unit area of land is usually called as delta. And next is the duty of water. Next is our duty of water, that indicates by D. That is D. The term duty means the area of land, that can be irrigated with unit volume of irrigation water. Or you can say that duty is also defined as the area of land expressed in hectares that can be irrigated with unit discharge. That is 1 cubic meter flowing throughout the base period, which is expressed in days. Okay? So, duty of water and delta, these are the two important terms. Okay? So, one is your B, one is your D, and another one is the delta. B always express, that is the base period or crop period, which is expressed in days. Okay? And delta is the total depth of water. So this thing is expressed in centimeter. Clear? Now next is the relation between delta duty and base period, that is delta is equal to 8.64 B by D, where delta is in centimeter, B is the base period or crop period, and D is the duty of water. D is the duty of water expressed in hectares per cubic or cubic meter. So what is delta? What is delta?
Delta is the total depth of water required to unit area.
To
Unit area of the irrigated.
total depth of water which is required for a crop to develop the initial to the harvesting stage, or you can say to the maturity stage of the crop. Initial stage or sowing stage to the maturity stage of the crop, that is the delta. That much required of water, that is the total water requirement, so that is the delta. Clear? Now you write down one numerical. Crop or base period both are expressed in number of days. Same no. Crop period or base period. Difference is the one is for the first time to last time, that is the keyword watering. One is for watering base period, and in crop period sowing to harvesting part. But both the things are expressed in number of days. Suppose this part, the base period part is, suppose it is 10 days, that is also 10 days, and crop period time is 15 days. But both are the expressed in days only. That part is given in your questions only, na? Base period or crop period of a particular crop, in the numerical it is properly mentioned that the crop period is this much or the base period is this much. So you put this only that value. Okay, to solve one numerical you can understand. Delta in centimeter. Delta 8.64. Should be in meter. In meter. 8.64. 8.64. Meter. If it is 864 B by D, then it is centimeter. Okay. So write down if the rice requires about 10 centimeter depth of water, 10 centimeter depth of water at an average interval and the crop period for rice is 120 days. Crop period for rice is 120 days. So find out the delta for rice. Find out the delta for rice. Delta means the total depth of water required to develop a crop. That is the total depth of water. Alright? That is the delta. So we have to find out this delta value. Okay? And what is given? What is given? Crop period is given. Crop period how much? Crop period is 120 days. That means B value is equal to 120. Okay? So we need to calculate the delta value. Another what is given?
10 centimeter depth of water.
Duty of
Duty?
water in cubic.
Duty of water?
In hectare per cubic.
centimeter.
10 centimeter.
If the rice required at 10 centimeter depth of water at an average interval of 10 days. Right? 10 centimeter depth of water is required at an average interval of 10 days. So first thing is 10 days interval we are giving. Total crop period is 120 days. So how many interval is there? So 12 interval is there. So 12 number of interval is there for the required crop period. And each interval the quantity of water is 10 centimeter. So for 12 interval it is required 12 into 10, that is the 120 centimeter. Clear? Or any doubt? Next lecture. If wheat requires about 7.5 centimeter of water, 7.5 centimeter of water after every 28 days, and the base period for wheat is 140 days.
And 28 days and the
After every 28 days, and the base period for wheat is 140 days. Find out the value of delta. Well, so here it is given base period. So what we are assuming? We are assuming that crop period and base period both are expressed in days and both are almost same. Because this is the first sowing time and this is in case of first watering. Both are almost same. So there is no difference. Now you tell me that what is the delta value in case of wheat? Neha, what? What given? What is given in the question?
Experience.
Huh?
Base period.
Base period 140.
Base period is given. That is B is equal to 140 days for wheat. 140 days for wheat. Okay? And next thing is, next what given? 7.5 centimeter water
After every 28 days.
water given, depth of water given after every
28 days.
28 days. So every 28 days means the interval time is 28 days. Here it is first week, so here it is 28 days. Okay? So total is 140 days. So how many interval is there? 140 divided by 28, 5. So 5 number of interval is there. Each is 7.5 centimeter over depth of water we have produced. So 7.5 into 5, 37.5 centimeter. This is the total delta value. Clear? Last, another one. Find the delta for a crop when its duty is 864 hectares per cubic and the base period of the crop is 120 days. Very easy.
Yes, sir. 1.2 meter.
Huh?
1.2 meter.
1.2 meter. Yes. So already we know the relation between delta and B. That is 8.64
B by D.
B by
D.
D. That is the delta value. Okay. So what is given? 8.64 into 120 and delta value is
D is given.
D is given. D is how much? 864. Okay. So 864 out. Divided by 100. So 1.20 meter is the delta value. Okay.